In this tutorial in CyberLink PowerDirector, we're going to look at customizing the titles that you have in your copy of PowerDirector. There's some that come in, especially new ones, that have interesting design characteristics. And when I begin to take them apart, I find myself always learning something new about how to customize or design titles. And so that's the focus of this tutorial. We have on track number 1 a still image. It just talks about MBA, and we're going to put some titles over in the right side. So let's look at several of the newer ones and see what we can do as we take them apart and re-engineer them. I'm going to click on the titles room in the upper left corner, and then I marked 3 of them as my favorites. They're all in the arrow text category. These are relatively new ones. Let's click on the turnaround one first, arrow text 17, and I'll drag it down to a lower numbered track. And here we see the title. So what I'm going to do is click on the edit button, and that will get me into my title designer. Now I want to go into the advanced button as well, so we'll click over here. And here we have the title. If I click on the outer frame, I'm going to move this around, and here I see I'm clicking on the PNG part of it. This is the graphic image. Let's see what happens when we start at the beginning and play it, and we get to see what the image does. It basically turns around and shows the arrows. Now another trick you can have is if you right click on it, you can do enable selected track only, and now I will only see what that particular image does. I can't change the color, but I can change the location. I can change the size of it. I can move it around anywhere I want. So that is my image. Now let's turn all the tracks on. I'm going to right click and do enable all tracks. And here I have my first title, which I'm going to change. And let's have this say June 1. This will be our deadline for enrolling in our MBA class. And then I'll take the other title and we'll call this deadline. Now I can change more than that. So what I'd like to do, I'd like the June 1 to mimic the colors in my graphic. So I'm going to find the June 1 section, which is here. I prefer clicking down here to make sure I get the right thing. And then let's change the colors of that one. So it's a solid color. Let's change the face of that to a gradient. We'll click on the gradient tab at the left side that starts out blue. And we'll click our color brush, and then we'll pick this one here to match, and then click on OK, and then we'll go to the end color brush, click on our eyedropper tool, and we'll pick one of these lighter ones here, and click on OK. And now we've changed it. We can also change the way in which the direction of the gradient goes. And that's just one option. Now I can also change the way in which it begins to appear on the screen. If I notice here, it starts out, the default is bounce for animation. Let's say I want to change it from a bounce. Let's do a surge. And there's a surge. And likewise, I could do similar changes with deadline. I could change the timing of when it comes in by lengthening or shortening it. And then here we have our word deadline. We can change that as well. So those are just some modifications you can make. The only thing we cannot change is the PNG here, except for size and location. So when we say click OK, I now have my June 1 deadline, and I've modified this to fit my preferences. And let's play it. Get out of that and try another one. Let's try this forward. I'm going to take this one, and we'll use it in this segment here. And I'll start simply by making it somewhat smaller. And let's see how it actually works when we play it. Unedited. So we have that nice spreading across. We also have it, we see it's a gradient, and then we have a graphic at the end. And if you look carefully at the end, you'll see what the graphic does. If you notice, the graphic starts out rather opaque and fuzzy, and then it becomes clear and then turns into the orange colors. And the orange colors match what we have going on here. Now, let's see what we can do to edit this one. So when I take it, I'm going to click on it, click on Edit, and move to Advanced. Now we notice if we click on the forward here, we have at the very beginning, we have some motion. It's Sparkle Light 2. Let's go Animation. And to identify the one that's active, it'll be the one that has a box around it. And here is our Sparkle Light 2. Maybe we want to try with Sparkle Light instead. Let's click on that. And we can see the difference it makes. Try this one again. That's the difference between Sparkle Light and Sparkle Light 2. And we could try anything else that we prefer. So we can change the animation of the word forward. Now what we can't change is, again, we have this arrow title 05. We can't change anything about that except its size. I could make it smaller or larger if I wanted to. Maybe I want to increase it and change it like this. I can't change the color. Now I could change the colors maybe to match MBA for the word forward. Again, what I would do in that case would be click here, and then we'll click on our color palette. We'll do our eyedropper. We'll try the M for MBA to start with. And we'll take the end one, change the color as well, and put it on the light side. Click on OK. And now when we play it, we've got forward. Now I may think I don't like this now because this color kind of clashes with the others. I can't change it, but I could use a different graphic if I wanted to. So if I wasn't happy with this anymore, I can either disable it or remove it. I can click on the eyeball and it won't show up at all, or I could simply delete that. So that's an example of another way in which you can make some modification. By the way, if you want to save any of these as a unique title, you can click on Save As in the lower left corner, and you can give it a call. I'll call it Blue Forward, and now I've saved it as a unique one of my own. Okay, so I'll click on Cancel in this case. Let's try a third one. So we'll go back to our titles, my favorites. Another one of the new ones I kind of like is this one here. It's called Arrow Text 33. Let's drag it over here and see what happens when we play it unedited. Thanks for watching. Now, I don't want to say thanks for watching. I want to say something different. So I'm going to go into my edit mode, and we're going to make it smaller. And you can edit in several ways. I'll just say things are, and in this box, the second title box, we'll say looking up. But my problem is my arrow isn't going up. So I'm going to take my arrow and I'll turn it this way. I can enlarge it. And we'll take our entire graphic and move it over just a little bit. And now we've done some very simple modification, but now we have things that are looking up. And then I could add something more about enroll in our class by a certain date or time, whatever. But it just gives you an idea on some of the ways in which you can take these and change them dramatically to fit your particular production.